Do you like luxury? Do you like power? Do you like to be unique and aftermarket? Well, today we're going to go over a vehicle that goes over all those bases all at one time. It could be considered a vehicle with multiple personalities, but it's able to pull them off all streamlined. Today we're going to go over wide body luxury. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, welcome to What It's Like to Drive. My name is Primo, and I know you know me because you've seen this before. You know what this is, but do you know what this is? This is a CLK 5.5 AMG. To be honest, I can't even imagine why they're letting me drive this thing, but here we are, and this thing has everything. Not only is it an AMG, so it's a step up from any other Mercedes out there, but this vehicle has suspension work, exhaust work, a tune, and most notably and visibly speaking, a wide body kit that makes it stand out beyond anything. Add in a set of wheels and a set of tires. This is an impressive work of art. And I can't wait to get behind the wheel of it. So what we're going to do today, and these are the things that we're going to go over as usual. First, it's going to be what it's like to drive it. Then second, it's going to be what's the cost, what's associated with making a vehicle like this. And the third thing is going to be what's the kind of pitfalls that come with the maintaining a car like this. What's a little bit different than other vehicles. And we're going to go all into that. So you get ready. We're about to get behind the wheel right now. Now, the first thing I have to say about this car is it feels exactly like an AMG does. AMG seats are probably the best seats in the industry. I love them to death. This is not my first time sitting in one, and every time I sit in one, the first thing I think is I want these seats in every car I have. AMG is known for power, it's known for speed, it's known for luxury, and it really does have a really good balance of luxury and speed should be put together. So this is going to be a really fun drive, and here we go. Okay, the first thing I love about it is the sound. If you can tell already, I'm hoping we're going to get a shot of that too, is that the sound is absolutely mint. It's perfect. It's a nice little drone of power. It wakes you up, but it's not going to kill you. It's not going to make your droning trip long. It's a good touring car. Now here's a return to a blast from the past, because this car, unlike the regular suspension setup on it, has a coilover kit, so it's lowered. So if you remember anything from the coilover kit section, you're going to know that this is kind of a little bit rougher ride than you're accustomed to with AMG. But it really does give it the aggressive look, the aggressive feel, everything that this car really needs. I mean, look at this, man. Out in the beautiful weather today with the top down, just cruising along. But if I want to have somebody next to me and I go, hey, I want the power and I'm going to throw this puppy down, it will give me everything it has to make it happen. So it's weird. It's almost like one of those vehicles that has the balance, the playfulness, something. And that's the other thing that I really feel it's dangerous about both AMG and now with a car with coils on it, because I've never felt the two together before. It's a car that really says, hey, you want to step on the gas. We want to go. We don't want to just sit around. And it's weird because you're in a convertible and you're like, I'm nice and relaxed, but you know what? The temptation is without a doubt something that you just have to do it. And also this car is equipped with Brembo brakes. Everything that's just a fun equipment package for this car is part of it. So you don't just get the basics, you get so much more that is involved with this vehicle. So such an enjoyable drive. I'm ready to review this thing. Okay, so what's this thing like to drive? Wow. This is, I mean, it's an AMG. Like I said, it's one of the best sitting vehicles. It's funny because when you sit in it, you kind of sink into the seats. Everything kind of rolls into place and you feel like you're not driving a car so much as driving a glove that fits you perfectly. That's exactly what an AMG does. Now, this vehicle is going to take it to another level because with the coils, with all the performance work done to it, it's going to take it to a more raw and visceral area that you really don't feel unless you're in some kind kind of performance vehicle. And that's something that I really like about this vehicle, is if you want to take this down to the beach, drop the top, just roll around sounding amazing with this exhaust, or if you just want to go out and go for a cruise, if you want to race somebody, if you want to do anything, this car is going to do it for you, and it's going to catch attention because it's not like any other vehicle. The only thing that I have really that is, if you want to be critical about it, is obviously with the coilover suspensions. We've discussed coils before. Coils are a little bit rougher to drive than normal vehicles with their normal suspensions, but that's the thing is this thing really handled it really well. I'd still give the suspension really high marks for what it did. It didn't feel like I was getting beat around. I really felt good about it. So for some of you, it might be a little bit too rough, might be a little bit too stiff. So that's something you might want to think about if you were doing something similar to this. With a vehicle like this, you don't want to cut any corners, and that's, if there's anything that I can say to anybody, do it all and do it right, and then you end up with something like this. This package is complete from stem to stern. Okay, so how much is something like this going to cost? Well, there's nothing cheap about this car. This car, brand new, went for $80,000. Chances are you could get one for around $20,000, but again, the quality of the vehicle, you want to do some research on them, know exactly what you're getting into. It's an AMG. They're very unique. They're very rare. For the body kit itself, the base body kit for the wide body setup is around $10,000. If you want to put everything together with it, it's probably around $12,000. Now that's just the body kit alone. That's not counting doing the paint work. That's not counting doing all the fitment and the other things that are going to be involved in this. This is not a cheap job. So if this is something that you're looking on getting into in the future, make sure that you know everything up front. That's where we have places like Far East Custom to come to and say, hey, by the way, what is this going to cost me? Where should I get the kit? Where should I do the work? There's a lot of stuff out there that's going to try to sell you something. Do not go cheap. It is just not, it's going to come back at you later on, and it's not going to be what you want to do. So right up front, go with the good stuff. Call up a reputable place like Far East and say, hey, by the way, this is what I'm planning on doing, and I need somebody good to do it. The rims and tires on this is, you're probably going to spend up to $4,000 on this, if not more, depending on how you have the setup with it. So all said and done, we're almost at $20,000 just on making it look the way it is. And then you're going to want to do exhaust work, you're going to want to do tuning. There's a lot of other stuff involved in it. So again, this is something that if you're going to get into it, you might want to have a budget ahead of time. You might want to have some deep pockets. This is not one of those things where you're just going to throw some money in a bucket and it's going to come out, it's going to be perfect. So I just want to warn you up front, that's what you're going to deal with. But if you want to look this good and drive something this nice, you're going to have to actually pay the bill. So there's that. All right, so what are some of the pitfalls? What are some of the upkeep things that are associated with this? Well, that's kind of the easy part. Once you get things together, you're going to want to keep it clean. You're going to want to do your oil changes. Obviously, anything with Mercedes is usually more expensive because you have to have synthetic oil. They're going to do a little bit more work than probably your normal place will do. But in the same respect, if you've owned a Mercedes before, the maintenance will be about the same. Now, the beauty of this is being the car that it is, being a beautiful car. If you're gonna own it, plan to clean it, plan to upkeep with it. We spent an hour and a half just to do this shoot on a car that literally I thought was pretty good the way it looked. But that's the thing is if you own this car, you're going to want to fall in love with it and you're going to want to keep up with it. So obviously cleaning supplies may be something that you invest in, but it's completely up to you and how you do it. But again, just appreciate that you have a wide body CLK 5.5 AMG. Come on, guys. Okay guys, thanks. That's it for what it's like to drive. I want to thank Far East Customs for letting me drive this beautiful vehicle. It was everything it was cracked up to be. I really did enjoy it a lot. And again, it's a vehicle that I would suggest if you have the money to put into it, it definitely was an eye catcher. And the feeling of being able to just slam that throttle or just cruise around, it was perfect for it. So it was a really enjoyable experience. Everything was nice about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Remember to like and subscribe. Don't forget there's some videos over here and there's a subscribe button there. So I don't want you to miss out on anything that we have coming down the road. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we want to thank this CLK 55 and Far East Customs for showing us what it's like to drive.